Hey guys, I want to show you this fourplex deal. This is an amazingly straightforward deal. This is one we did last year, so let me pull up I haven't made the spreadsheet thing, but I got these pictures. So yeah, this is the deal. So yeah, it's just a fourplex. So it looks like this is one of the units. It's actually a little weird. Yeah, so it has the carport, which is nice. Yeah, and then this kitchen. This was the one of the kitchens when they advertised it, they advertised the kitchen that was the nicest, the unit that was the nicest, one of the nicer ones here. So it's kind of different. They painted everything, all the trim black, and did like black around the fireplace and black everything. I don't know, black track lights. So whatever, a little weird, but okay. Kind of a modern look. Black doorknobs, black wall plates, whatever. But anyway, so that's the property, and so it looked pretty clean. So we went ahead and put an offer in. So I'm gonna show you the figures that we had. So that's all 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square feet each, ish. Actually, they're probably like 950. Doesn't matter. 950. I always look at this like what the advertised square footage is per unit, and then compared to what the tax record tells me the square footage is for the whole property. So 380, so something's off, right? If the tax record says it's 440 and this says it's 3,800, like we're missing some square footage, but whatever, let's just get into it. Okay, so we have the market rent at $1,250 per unit. That's if they're all renovated and look nice. Plus $50 a month each unit for utility recovery, and then we're assuming that 2 of the units will pay pet rent at $50 a month. Okay, so 2 of the 4 will have pets if we allow pets. I have a 4% vacancy rate, and they were asking $600 for this. We actually ended up getting it for $560, which I'll go into in a second. Okay, so then down here we're at $36.70 in property tax. Insurance is just defaults at $500 per unit. These were our estimated expenses, and these are about right. So you've got about $280 a month for water, sewer, garbage, and then about $150 a month for common area electricity. Tenants pay their own electricity for their individual units, so this is just going to cover, the exterior lights, parking area, etc. Maintenance we have at $1,000 per year per unit, and we assumed, property management 7%, and then we assume $8,500 per unit to renovate them, including, some upgrades to flooring, painting, and maybe some bathroom upgrades, and some minor kitchen upgrades, maybe an appliance, kitchen sinks, blinds, etc. Okay. So this is where we were at, and then so we actually came in with a full price offer of $600, just to get it. Actually, I think we came in at $595, a little bit under, and then on our inspection we found that all the siding is failing and will actually all have to be replaced at some point, so we were able to get a price reduction down to $560 from that. So that worked out because we got an estimate for $54,000 to replace all the siding, and since I've found someone to do it for $34,000, but regardless, that's how we got that. So let's look at, so this was kind of the current ROI. So this means that if the rents just stayed here, $950, $1,000, $1,100, and $1,150, and there was no increase in rent at all, that my client would still plan on making about $270 a month after all expenses. Okay, but if he puts in the $8,500 per unit averaged out, this should justify increasing the rent. We're not increasing that much. This unit probably needs the most work. Obviously, that's a pretty high increase. This was a unit, two of the units were in pretty good shape. These two need a little bit more work. So this unit had been living there for, I think she'd been living there for about 6 years. So it's in pretty bad shape and needs a full deal, the full meal deal. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's been almost a year, and I have all the rents up to this amount. We turned over 3 of the 4 units, so it was quite a bit of work. But we are now here, and we are now here. So we are getting. We don't have the pet rat, so let's put this at 0. So let's look at where he's at. So yeah, he's bringing in. This is bringing in about $1,200 a month, and of course that fluctuates depending on how many maintenance calls come in. But it took us just over a year, just under a year to get this to this cash flow. This is going to end up being more because he did do the siding project. So his total cash outlay ended up being about $210,000 all in. Of course, that was spread out over time. But his cash flow is still good. His cash on cash is at 7, and that's just going to continue to rise as time goes on because now the property is fully stable and rents keep going up, and there's really not a lot of work to do, so he just sits back and collects that each month. And it was a really straightforward deal. Not a lot going on with that one, but I like to show this one because of how straightforward it was. Like, yeah, there was some work initially for the management team, but nothing so overwhelming that the owner needed to get overly involved. He did get somewhat involved with the siding project just because it was a pretty big expense that he took it upon himself to get a couple more bids and got really aggressive with negotiating with vendors, but we ultimately were able to secure one, so it worked out. Hope this helps. Hope you guys like this one as a deal analyzer.